Who will be Moyes' potential replacement if he gets the sack? Will it be Brendan Rodgers? Reports are believed it's a very good chance it could. The board seems to be positive on him, but one person who it might not be is Graham Potter, who the board do not feel so positively about. Interim managers' names being thrown about: Slaven Bilic, Alan Kirbishley, which I couldn't believe. All sorts of names going on. Nicky's got strong feelings about the training that's going on, so we'll have a debate about that.
I wasn't got strong feelings.
I don't know. I don't know. The
tweet opinion.
Yeah, it was a strong. Yeah, it was a strong opinion. Well, we'll get into that. The Fulham game. I guess a little bit of reflection on where we are and relegation and also.
And one thing we're going to talk about tonight is the under-18s who've done us proud last night. That's what we are going to talk about.
Yes, Ryan and Nicky were at the game last night, so we'll.
Someone said they thought I was wearing a whistle. It does look a bit like a fucking a suit from what's that thing with the fucking clouds and that. What's
that looks called? Like fucking one of Sullivan's suits you're wearing.
Yeah, you've been around Sullivan's wardrobe. I bet the trousers are short. I bet they're like short.
Hot pants. But I mean, look, we'll getting straight into it, lads. I think we'll save the under 18s. We'll have something positive for the end, a little palate cleanser. You know what I mean? At the end, towards the end, we'll get the under 18s. But I mean, Brendan Rodgers or Graham Potter, it seems to be that the board leaning one way if they had to choose. I mean, what are your feelings on both of them as potential West Ham managers, Moyes replacements?
Listen. I think that we just need a change. I think we need a change. I think, it's going to tie in a little bit about, the training video I've seen. I know you see it right as well. You retweeted it. I see after. But I to be honest, I can't believe that we're sitting here on Friday after getting beat like that Wednesday and he's still got a job. If I'm honest with you, it stinks of complacency. It reminds me of Avram Grant. The Avram Grant season where he should have gone before Christmas, and they just kept on delaying it, leaving it, delaying it, leaving it. They fucked up an appointment, so they had to keep him, and then they ended up having to keep him, and he took us down. I don't know what they're waiting for, if I'm honest with you, and I'm listening to I heard the Moose on TalkSport say that even he said this: if we was in this position, you'd employ David Moyes to get you out of it. Well, not if David Moyes has caused the problem. Do you know what I mean? Like it's strange. It's weird. It's very, very strange. And I see Forest Fan TV in here saying about we ain't the ones that sacked our manager, but I think their manager has got a little bit more credit in the bank for them because he took them up after a long time. But I'm shocked that he's still got a job. I'm honest with you. I think we would be better off with a interim manager because I only think we're about 3 or 4 wins away, and I think we can get them. I think we can get some real points in the next few weeks if we change the manager because we've got the players to do it. We've got the players who are good enough. We've got, good enough talent to do it. It's just that everything's being sapped out of them. What I saw on Wednesday night, and I never done a morning after because I knew I was coming, it wasn't Moyes' fault. I wouldn't say it's Moyes' fault, but there's a feeling around the club, There's a feeling. You get one of them things where when you're down there, it never goes right. If we score that goal in the first 2 minutes, it could be a completely different game. Yeah. If that one comes in rather than comes off the post. But the fact of the matter is the players looked like they're just sapped of energy. And I'm looking at that this morning from the training ground. It doesn't fill me with confidence. They need something. They need something to light the fire underneath them because at the moment, whatever is going on at the training ground, whatever's going on in the changing room, it's not lighting the fire underneath them. And you can't get beat like that in the position you are after the 2 seasons you've had and keep your job. And I'm dumbfounded. Would I take Rodgers? Yes, I would. I would take. To be honest with you, I wouldn't only take Rodgers. I would take Potter. I would take Kerbishley. I would take Bilic. I would take anyone at the moment over this. I would take Nolan or Noble to the end of the season. I would take anyone because they need something. But the thing is, they even if it's that new manager bounce might be the thing that keeps us up. But we cannot just leave it to rot like it is, because it's going to come back to bite us in the arse.
Well, I think the difference between Rodgers, Potter, and the other, Kerbs and that, Rodgers and Potter, I think would be permanent managers, permanent options. Like if we sign them, they're here for the long term. Whereas Kerbs, Bilic, and them, end of season. I agree. I would take Brendan Rodgers at West Ham. People laud 6th and 7th. Moyes, he got back-to-back 5th place finishes. I believe he got 2 semi-finals and an FA Cup at Leicester. So a much more impressive run at that club than Moyes has had at our club, and a lot less backing. At the end of it, and I think that's just where it came to, that the funds weren't there. They spent a lot on the training ground, and I just think the money dried up, and he didn't really get backed this season. And I think that squad, it just really ran its course. And I do rate him, and I think he could be a good manager for us. So I would take him. It's tough. Potter coming off the back of that, it doesn't mean that can't define him. That Chelsea job, it was almost an impossible job to go into, but taking him off the back of that, it's a risk.
The thing is, like with Rodgers and Potter, I don't think they're the right managers to bring in now. I think they're the sort of managers that have to have a pre-season behind them, get their squad together. You need someone that's going to come in now and instant. And to be honest, mate, I can't even tell you who that would be. It has to be someone from within the club. I think that if Moyes was to go tomorrow, I thought he was going to go the other day. And I think if he can't get sacked after a home defeat like that, then I think he's here for the rest of the season, or until we are officially relegated, like what happened with Avram Grant, then they sack him. I know that there was a few names being touted around about Bilic, Kerbishley. Funny enough, I was speaking to someone yesterday at the under-18s game who runs the events, and he was with Alan Kerbishley yesterday in the Black Lion pub. They had a reunion drink with some West Ham old boys. And Kerbishley, he showed Kerbishley the rumours, and Kerbishley just laughed and he said, "Look, there's no way they're going to want me back. They paid me to get me out of the club, to get rid of me, so they're not going to want me back." Bilic, no, I don't think he can come in and make a change. That's what I'm saying, mate. I said this the other day. Like we're linked with so many managers, and if we manage to stay up, and Moyes leaves in the summer, there's a couple of names that I'll think, yeah, they do a good job. And the one that stands out for me, and I said this to Nicky, is Vincent Kompany. I think he'll be brilliant for West Ham. Young, ambitious. I think he's got the right attitude. I think he's going to be a top manager. And yes, we will be a stepping stone for the Man City job, but who cares if we have him for 2, 3, 4 years? But Rodgers and Potter are both good managers. I know they both just lost their jobs. I know Potter was linked with Leicester. I think they wanted to get him in, and he sort of turned it down, and people are thinking he's holding out for the West Ham job. I think he just wants a little bit of a break, and he's going to wait till the summer to see what comes along, see what offers he's got. It's look, even if we lose tomorrow, I still don't think Moyes will get the sack. I think he's just going to be here for the rest of the season. But I'm with Nicky. If we had Nolan and maybe Kevin Keane alongside him for the rest of the season, or even Noble, I think would be good to have alongside Kevin Nolan on the touchline. Just for the rest of the season, let them put their ideas across, because it seems like whatever ideas the backroom staff are putting in, they're not being listened to. And I noticed it the other day at the end of the game, 5-1 down, David Moyes is standing on the touchline on his own. Not one member of the coaching staff went up and stood next to him, just to sort of put their arm around him a bit. I think they was just all sitting there thinking, this is your mess, mate. And I think what Declan Rice said after the game in his interview as well, when he said, look, we can't keep talking about the last 2 seasons, that was a dig at David Moyes as well. So he's definitely now. I know that Rice did also turn around and say, I'm happy with Moyes, the players like Moyes, that they, so it's yeah,
But it's one of them things, though. Like, right, you know, they've been having. I mean, there's no smoke without fire. Sue Fowl come out the other week and he was criticising the way he'd been treated. You know, Declan Rice keeps on having digs. He keeps on having digs at the play. You know, there's not a good feeling around the club. It doesn't. I mean, look, when they have an interview with Declan Rice, he's not going to turn around and go, "Nah, fucking ain't more. He's a prick." He's not going to say that. He's going to say whatever it is in the public. You know, but there's rumours that you can just see in the body language. You can see in the body language that they're not happy with what's going on. Obviously, they're not going to be happy with what's going on. You're getting fucking slapped every week. But it doesn't look, you know, like you see like teams in the past when, you know, when we were bad, when we were a bad side, you'd see them going out training and they'd go out there and they'd give everything. From what I see from the training videos today, and we're going to be talking about this, everyone's going to have an opinion, they don't look like they want to be there. You know, like there's no one turning around. Like I know you don't see the whole session, but you get a feel like, and someone said to me earlier, you know, that's not the whole session, though, is it? I said, no, but that's the best that they can find out of it, which is even more worrying.
Do you think maybe they might have been told not to come out laughing and joking and that after what happened on Wednesday?
I don't think so. No, I don't.
The thing is, we've got Claret and Boozers in the chat. He done a video talking about basically just a story from the training ground of the atmosphere and the mood in the training ground, and a lot of players disillusioned, a lot of people, including the coaching staff, losing faith in the manager, and on the back of a 5-1 defeat, that's probably just compounded even more. And I'm not surprised.
It ain't Moyes' fault. You can't accustom yourself.
Come on.
No. I'm just saying on the day, you can't account for individual mistakes.
I know, but I think to me, I understand that.
Let me finish. Right, but I think them individual mistakes don't happen in that sort of consistency if they were confident, if they were motivated, if they, you know, that does come from the management. So, yeah, overall, I think the whole mood of the season, but in terms of that game, look, people can say what they want. At the end of the day, it's a 5-1 slapping, right? But the worrying thing is for me, we weren't that bad in the first half. We weren't that bad. We could have quite easily gone into that game at 2-2. We could have gone into that game into that half 2-1 up.
But we didn't, because our big problem all season scoring goals. We've scored like one open play goal since February.
But you know, they have to find a way. They have to find a way. And I think the only way is a change, is a fresh set of ideas.
Yeah. I think anyone...
The worrying thing for me is with the manager is that he cannot see the problems that everyone can see. He's either he can't see it or he's too stubborn to admit it. Like, Souček should not be playing in that side, with all due respect. And like... He shouldn't be, and he has. Like if you see earlier on in the season, it took him a while to sort of admit that Cresswell shouldn't be in the side, and it took him a little while to admit that, you know, maybe Antonio shouldn't have been starting games when we had other options. Like, he's a little bit stubborn. Souček has been fucking awful for about a year and a half. He's had one or two good games, yeah. But I watched Thomas Souček. Ryan watches Thomas Souček. We sit next to each other. We're talking during the game. He is literally a passenger, and you're not. I don't think you're sending out the right message, even in that. Yeah, even in that sort of thing, where Flynn Downs, at the moment, we need to keep the ball. We need to keep the ball moving. We need it quicker. We need to keep possession. We can't keep on affording a guy that's, you know, you look at their goal the other day. He's so far up the pitch, yet like I see the heat map. He was playing further. He's meant to be playing in the holding role, and he was, you know, their second goal. He was so far up the pitch. He's nowhere. He does nothing. He does absolutely nothing. He runs around in the middle of the pitch. He doesn't get near anyone. He doesn't tackle anyone. He doesn't even win headers in the box.
Is he meant to be in the holding role, though, Nick? Is he meant to be there?
No, I'm not. I don't know. Well, this is the problem, Dan. I don't know where he's meant to be playing, but the heat map suggested he was playing in the holding role. So
the thing is, as well, I think with Thomas Souček, I think the midfield for like the two with Rice and Paqueta, I think works well because they're two very gifted players and they can take the ball forward, make things happen. I just think they need some fresh legs in there. Someone like Fornals, maybe someone like Lanzini, just someone that wants to get on the ball. We all know Fornals; he can put in tackles. You know, just something a little bit different because
I don't know what Fornals has done to Moyes, honestly.
Yeah, with Souček, he hasn't been great, and I actually feel a bit sorry for him sometimes because I think the message he's getting from Moyes, you know, is I think obviously the right message, and he looks lost. It sort of reminds me of Kevin Nolan in his last season at West Ham. You know, when he's just jogging around in the centre and the ball's just going over him, past him, no one's passing to him. He gets the ball, and the thing is with him, he gets that ball and he's like he's panicking, like he just wants to get rid of it because he doesn't want to make a mistake. He doesn't want to give it away. And 9 times out of 10, he usually gives it to the opposition, not the optician. Well, he needs glasses in midfield. Or he knocked it out of play. So, yeah, I'll just that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see Lanzini brought into the side because I think last season when we were struggling, we went 5 or 6 games without picking up a result. And then he just changed it a little bit and moved Lanzini in the middle. And it made such a difference to the team.
His quality is a null and void. There's certain players in football, there's certain players that need direction. They need direction. They basically need the game played for them. Yeah, and that he's not getting that. You can tell he's not getting that. You know, everyone's so focused on doing what they're doing because they're making mistakes. He has got no one directing him. Like Deck, I don't know what Deck's saying to him, but you know, it doesn't look like some players need the game played for them. They haven't got the brains to do it themselves. And I'm not saying he's a stupid man or anything like that, but I'm just saying some people need constant direction. Some people are self-motivated. Everyone's different. But he's Ryan, that is the right word. He's lost. He is lost in the centre of midfield. Yeah. And, I'll never slag the geezer off for playing because, we all whinge and moan about it. And the same happened to Kevin Nolan towards the end of his career. He doesn't pick himself. He doesn't pick himself. Yeah. I'm not saying that anyone's going out there purposely to have bad games, but he's lost. And I think he's scared.
I mean, I've obviously never played the professional game, but I couldn't think of anything worse of playing football, low on confidence. Your teammates haven't got that much confidence in you. And when you're getting subbed off, you're getting cheered because you're coming off the pitch. And he doesn't go into that training ground and say, look, please don't pick me this week. He wants to play football. He's a footballer. He's a professional footballer. It's what he dreamed of. He's a lucky person to be playing professional football. But when things ain't going right, sometimes you need a bit of time out of the team. You need to sit on that bench. Just have a 2 or 3 games out of the team. Maybe come on 10, 15 minutes ago. Because that's what I think Souček is now. He's a sort of player, when you're 2-0 up, 10 minutes ago, you want to see out the game, just stick Souček on so he can win the headers in our box, and try to get it forward and, maybe score up the other end. But a bit like what he was doing when we first signed him, when he had that brilliant season.
It's why when people say, oh, it's the players, it's not the manager, to me, I can never blame the players, if they're out of form, because again, like Nick said, it's the manager that picks them. But I'm starring comments, everyone. So we're going to be reading them. So if you put in comments, we're going to get through some comments. But before we do that, I want to before we wrap up, definitive answer because we drifted off into the Newcastle game. Just when it comes to looking at Rodgers or Potter, if you had to pick one, a permanent manager, let's say, permanent manager for the take us forward, which one are you leaning to? Do you like either of them? And if so, which one do you fancy?
As I said, mate, I'll take Mr. Rodgers and Harry fucking Potter over Moyes.
Yeah, but I'm talking about your prime, if not just I'll take anyone, because if you have anyone,
if they were the 2 choices and you had to pick one, who would be who would you say?
I'll probably say Rodgers. Just because, there is question marks over Potter, and there is question marks over, the coaching staff and the setup at Brighton. Maybe helped him out a lot. Rodgers has won silverware in the last couple of years with Leicester. He's done well with Leicester. Leicester, they're in the same sort of position as us, but. Yeah, I would trust Rodgers more than Potter.
It's a difficult one. It is because I do like Potter, and I think he was harshly treated at Chelsea. I know it wasn't going great in the league for him, but they was unbeaten in the Champions League, and to not let him have the chance to have a crack at Real Madrid when he's deserved that, I think that was a bit harsh. Rodgers is a proven Premier League manager. You know, he done well in Scotland with Celtic, obviously, and to win the FA Cup with Leicester as well the other year was a massive achievement. Yeah. So I'd probably sway more towards Brendan Rodgers because I think that tactically get the best out of what we've got.
Yeah. You know what? Looking at it for me, I would take Rodgers over Potter. You know, he was a Gerrard slip away from winning them their first league title in God knows how long. But if I look at it and I open it up and I think, right, all the managers that we could go for, you know, that we could realistically get. So I'm excluding the Pochettinos. Mourinho's already turned us down. I would lean to him as a potential first choice over. I mean, and company excites me, really excites me, but it's a risk. It is a big risk. So I do lean to someone like Rodgers, who we can play good football under, good coach. You know, like you said, right, got good track record recently.
The thing is with company is I think that he'd want to stay at Burnley. They're going to get promoted, if not this weekend, next weekend. So he'll want to stay up there and have a crack at the Premiership with them. But listen, if we had any chance of getting him, if you had given a choice out of company, Will Steele or Michael Carrick, company would be top of that list all day long for me. Because it's just, I don't know, there's just something about him. Even when he was a captain for Man City, there was just, he always had that aura about him that, you know, he and you see some of the videos, the way
he's probably learned a lot of Pep as well.
Yeah, you know? and that's a bit like Arteta as well. You know, Arteta learned a lot under Pep. It didn't in the first season at Arsenal. It weren't coming off, but you see, it's all paying off now. You know, and Arsenal could actually win the Premier League, and he could pip Pep at the post. I sound like Gary Lineker at the end of the match of the day. Then that's one of his silly sayings, isn't it?
Yep, honestly. But yeah, no, and listen, that would excite me. But yeah, like you said, he probably won't leave Burnley. And I'm just looking and I think, yeah, Rodgers, give him some backing, right, in the summer and see what he can really, really do. I'm open to that.
There could be massive changes. You know, we might, like Sullivan might sell up and leave the club in the summer. So a new manager's going to come in and work with Kretinsky and maybe another investor. So there might be a bit of money to spend now. But whoever comes in is going to want money. They obviously know that when they come in, they're not going to have Declan Rice. Unless something drastic happens in the summer, Declan Rice won't be a West Ham player at the beginning of next season. No. Or he might be. They might leave it to the end of the transfer window. So we get 3 or 4 games out of him.
As interims go, I will say the thought of Bilic coming back, that'd be emotional for me because I love Slaven Bilic. I absolutely love the bloke.
The only thing with outside managers coming in now, and I know Bilic plays and managed the club, and he's done a good job for us, and he's in that last season at Bowling. I think someone from in the club now would care more because I think if someone come in now with 10 games to go, they're there for 10 games, we get relegated, they're gone, they don't care. I'm not saying Bilic wouldn't care, but I'd rather have someone from within the club.
Yeah, because they're probably going to still be in the club afterwards, so it's like they've got genuine stakes, you know, like which is why I looked at and I said in my preview Kevin Keane and Nolan as a combination because you know Kevin Keane, you know, he'd still continue to manage the under 23s, so he'd still be a part of the club, so he does have that stake
for a long time as well. Kevin Keane,
don't forget, he actually took over when Avram was sacked. He only had 1 game, and I think we lost that at home.
Someone actually used that as a reason. They tweeted me going, "Oh, Kevin Keane, we lost under. He lost the game." It's like, what? We took over 1 game, and you're judging him as an interim manager.
The thing is, there are some really good coaches at that football club that could be promoted to the first team. I mean, Mark Robson's one. You know, Mark Phillips is one. You know, there's so many great coaches in that setup. In the youth levels and the under 23s that you could put a little team together to take this first team over for the rest of the season. And I bet there'd be a lot of first team players that would be up for that. Fresh idea.
I think, and to me, the job of the interim manager, because people were saying, oh, this manager's not experienced. a lot of it is just to lift that dark cloud over the team's head, to get some positivity, that dourness, that feeling of despair they get under Moyes and disillusionment, and go have someone come in and go, right, okay, boys, we're going to change things up. You're gonna go out and play. And just try and feel like, okay, something different. That's why new manager bounces out.
It's like any job in the world. If you work in, say, an office with 20 people and there's a manager that you don't like and they leave, and you know that there's a new manager coming in, straight away people are like sitting up a bit better. You know, they're looking forward to seeing what's going to come in, what ideas he's going to do. You know, who's going to get a pay rise, who's going to get promoted, who's going to what roles he going to give you. So that can happen. It's not only football; it's any walk of life in a job. You know, you get that little boost that someone new is coming in, and you want to prove that you're good enough. You should be starting in the starting 11.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't think it's late. I'll get to some comments.
The fact that up to this point in the season, they haven't got a plan in place. It is. Yeah. I think that's shocking for a club that's meant to have, you know.
But not surprising.
Not surprising.
I think it's hard to have a plan in place with the position we're in, because if we're in the Championship, we're not going to attract certain managers. If we're a Premier League team, we are going to attract certain managers.
But the fact that they haven't thought about this up to now, you know, some of the results we've had, some of the, you know, I just don't know.
He should have gone that week when we lost 3 games in a row, Palace, Leicester, and Blackburn in the cup.
Yes,
that's the week that when he should have gone, just before the World Cup. New manager comes in, 6 weeks to work with, get to know the football club, get to know the people that work there, work with the players that weren't away on international duty, and then start afresh. January transfer window there with a little bit of money, but it didn't happen.
No,
and that's why we are where we are.
Let's get some comments in from our wonderful viewers, subscribers. Ant's Leicester fan channel, I wonder what team he supports, says Brendan Rodgers would do wonders for West Ham. He had just ran his race at Leicester. I think that's very, very fair assessment. Charlie Carroll says, I'd take part all day, give him a few years. You would be like playing Brighton.
Be playing like Brighton.
It'd be probably, we would. I think we would be playing like Brighton. Yeah, I think they're actually. What I didn't mention, I think what the board's thoughts are apparently is that they feel like a lot of success at Brighton was down to the structure and the recruitment of the club, more so than his coaching and management. He has to take some credit, but they're feeling like, you know, that's what he had, you know, that gave him a little bit of a boost. So I don't know whether we could expect to just be like Brighton. We need to look at what Brighton are doing at the top end and replicate that is what we need to do. Really well run club. Claret and Blue Booze. Evening, mate. Evening, gents. I can't understand having to wait until a replacement is in place. It's mental. And that makes me think that they are hoping he turns his 5th corner of the season. He's nearly doing a double lap of corners. He's just going the corner, turning these corners and back again. Yeah.
Well, what a great channel that is as well. Claret and Booze. Love listening to the boys over there, man. They remind me so much of us. Much of us, but they just got more hair and better looking.
Yeah.
Great bunch of lads.
Yeah, no, that's it. No, shout. And then Nick, I agree with a lot of what he says. Unlike our Nick. No, I'm joking. Me and Nick, we're both the negative ones on the channel, so me and him usually agree. The negative ones. Todd Stevens, Keane Noble was interim. Andy, good old Andy, says Kevin Keane for me till the end of the season. MOTR 1912, we look down. Moyes has lost the plot. The players just don't look up for any fight. And Sullivan, well, what is going through his head is anyone's guess. I hope it's a potential sale. That's what I hope after all this, you know. Double Think says, prefer the discipline of Mancini to Company. Mancini was someone I was talking about like in August, and that it's still not 100% sure if we can pull it off, but I would.
Italy manager.
Yeah.
No way. It's not leaving Italy for West Ham.
Yeah, but you think about it, he ain't got. It's a lot. I think. Well, actually, a report I read is that he does want to come back to the Premier League. I think a lot of managers.
Yeah, that's the key word, Premier League.
Well, yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah. Roger again. I've accepted the fact that Moyes is not getting sacked until the end of the season.
Do you
That's
know
Roger.
who it wouldn't surprise me if Mancini went to Leicester? He used to play for him. People forget
Yeah,
that.
he did, yeah.
Played for Leicester, so wouldn't be a bad shout.
He would have to get some assurances of money. I imagine Maddison is going and Tielemans are both going. They're going to have to hope they get big money from Maddison. It's whoever takes over. If they're still in the Premier League, which is not a given, they've got a massive job. Losing.
Well, whoever goes there knows that they've got really decent owners behind them. So it'll be
that's a big bonus.
It'll be a good job for someone. They're a good club, Leicester.
No, absolutely. I think it's just going to be a massive project for them to rebuild, and the owners are definitely going to have to stick their hands in their pockets without a doubt. Leicester fans have been
it's like us. We're a massive project as well. We are such a massive project for someone out there. If we get the right owners, the right manager, and the right backing, we could be a team that are challenging the top 6 every season. We can be that club. We proved it over the last couple of years, but we ain't had the right recruitment, the right backing. To stay consistent in that top 6 year after year, you need to chuck so much money. I see the other day a stat that Jurgen Klopp, they spent over £1 billion and they've won one Premier League title.
Wow, that's
a lot of money. You know what I mean?
The thing is, I don't think we'll ever be that under these owners. I don't, because they're not. I think they're too sentimental, not run properly enough, and not ruthless. There's not enough ruthlessness in there. Like to be keeping hold of a manager when he's doing this, and especially with some of the things he's been saying. I've had enough of him having to go to fans. I think that's a fucking disgrace. But I'll get on to that.
Oh yeah, I think I think that deserves its own little spot of us talking about that. To be honest.
But it's the things like, with all due respect, and we're guilty of it a little bit as well. But giving Zabaleta another 1-year contract, giving Aaron Cresswell an extra 1-year contract, then these players are not good enough. You don't see Man United, when they was winning things, or Man City just fucking letting people fucking have another year's pay because, they're, like with Zabaleta, Man City could have afforded to kept Zabaleta on their books for the fucking rest of eternity, but they didn't. Yeah. They went, right, you've had your day. Thanks a lot for what you've done for us, but you're not good enough for us anymore in the direction we want to go. Off you pop. Yeah. And I think that's, Cresswell signed another 1-year deal. He ain't even played fucking half a dozen games this season now.
No.
Because he got fucking
in the summer, he signed a new 5-year deal.
Not 5.
I'm joking.
Fucking hell, you nearly gave me a heart attack there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not professional. Like, it's one of them things, jobs for the boy. Like, Cresswell has been a great servant to us, yeah? But if you want to go places, you can't be turning around and taking up a squad with someone that's just going to be sitting there for an extra year,
Yeah, but to be fair, right, I look at it like this. We brought Emerson in, and, we're looking at it, and they're probably not going to in a position where they're going to spend money on another left back. So they're looking at it and go, right, okay, this is a transitional period where Emerson comes in. You've got Cresswell as backup. And then by the time the next window comes around, we can sign another left back or promote a left back. Because you can't sign. You can.
But that was this year, but he's got another year on top of this.
What? Next season?
Yeah.
Oh,
they signed a year extension. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, right. Fair enough. Yeah, no. I completely agree with you. Dean Hughes with a £5 super chat. Thank you very much, Dean. And Newcastle fan, I know you're absolutely enjoying your season. And good luck to you. It says, Newcastle fan here, just wanting to know your thoughts on the player Joe Linton has become. I think it's an absolute testament to what a great coach Eddie Howe is. Because
Eddie Howe has obviously gone in, looked at him, thought he's not working up front. Let's just drop him that little bit deeper. And what a player he's become. He's been brilliant for Newcastle, especially this season. And obviously the other night he got 2 goals against us. He works hard. He's transformed, because I can remember when they first signed him and they paid a lot of money for him. I think he was their record signing at the time, and it didn't look like it was going to work for him. But no, that's what that's you're right. What you say, Eddie Howe's a good coach. He's come in, he's identified that problem, and he's one of the first names on the team sheet these days for Newcastle. So yeah,
brilliant job, I think, and yeah, hats off to him. And AG, another Newcastle fan, says Potter better at lower teams rather than top teams. I think that's harsh. I think that Chelsea job is a shambles. Todd Bowley, they brought in Frank Lampard.
Yeah, I was going to say, he'd be better at lower clubs. Why didn't he do well at Chelsea?
Yeah, exactly. They're in the bottom half. Imagine that. They sacked Tuchel, who's now Bayern Munich manager, paid him out a shitload of money, brought in Potter, gave him £500 million, and sacked him.
I'll tell you what a shambles that Chelsea are this season, manager-wise. Kante started his third home game the other day this season, and they've all been under different managers. His next game will be under a new manager, Frank Lampard. So that'll be 4 starts at Stamford Bridge this season under 4 different managers. And Lampard's won the lottery. He got sacked at Everton. And this is the funny thing with football. If your name fits, look, it might be a good thing for Chelsea. Look, they've brought someone in that knows the football club. He's a legend. He goes in. He knows everyone at the football club. He knows the fans. He knows the stadium. He knows
they
everything.
Shouldn't be in that position.
He will bring. I bet
he don't know the fans because they ain't won or something in a couple of years. They probably will support Man City ones that were supporting him.
Mate, like you look at the training videos today from Chelsea, and who's he got his arm around talking to? Aubameyang. Aubameyang's that sort of player now that he's thinking, I'm going to have a chance now for the rest of the season. Lampard's going to come in and give me a chance. That's the difference a manager can make. He goes in there, the players that ain't been playing, he'll go, right, get on that training ground and prove. Show me why you should be in the
win a couple of games. New manager bounce, new ideas, fresh. It don't matter what ideas. This is what I'm saying about our position.
Potter didn't have a new manager bounce.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
It's but no, I agree. I do believe in the new manager bounce as a whole. But yeah, just embarrassing situation. Todd Bowley is mental. Kieran Dillon, he gave us a blank 199 super chat. Thank you very much, Dylan. And then followed it up with his message 499. Thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate you and appreciate everyone, of course. Nice one, mate. Says, I think they're selling by new quality players to rise the price of the club. Not sacking Moyes due to compensation payments. Yeah, there's a bit of a discrepancy over how much it would actually cost us to sack him. I think it was something like 4 million or something. Sacking.
How was it? 2 million.
2 million for it depends. I guess
half of his contract or something. So
yeah, I imagine it will be a lot cheaper if we get relegated. There's probably some clauses in there. So I think it's a gamble though. Like keeping him or sacking him, either one is a gamble now because they can't afford for us, I think, to get relegated. Because if they are looking to the value of the club will be slashed.
The thing is, because we're running out of time, I think we should say a little bit about his press conference the other day when he's, he at one hand he's saying,
wait, hold up, Nick. Let me just get to these other super chats. But
okay,
get into another big topic. Josiah says, £5 super chat. Thank you as always, Josiah. Really appreciate it, my friend. A Chelsea fan told me on Twitter to back Moyes and not be a plastic. Of course, Chelsea fans would say that. They want to see us suffer. They want
you know what? Josiah makes me laugh with some of his tweets. He comes out with the most random tweets. He makes me laugh. He said, "Sound like I got into Birmingham once. I didn't like it."
I don't listen. I didn't like it either.
I love it though. It's just out of nowhere. I love it. I love it. I love.
Follow Josiah on Twitter.
Yeah, follow him on Twitter because it will make you laugh. I don't even know whether you're trying to be funny or nothing, but they make me crack up, honestly, mate.
The world according to Josiah. We love it.
Yeah.
Keep it up. Good old Steve, WHU Bell, 499 super chat. Thank you as always, Steve. Hope you're having a good evening, my friend. Can you imagine it if it goes to the last game, Leicester away? I can't. My heart can't take it. I don't know about you lads.
The thing is, with Leicester away, mate, I want to be going into that game 4 points clear on the last day. I wouldn't want to be going to Leicester and whoever wins stays up. That'll be the worst way to go down, honestly. Yeah. It'd be like when we got relegated under Brooking all them years ago when we had to go to Birmingham on the last day of the season, and I couldn't handle that again. Fuck that. That's too much.
Mr. C is in the house. Says you should give a motivational speech to the players, Ryan.
I can't just about motivate myself, mate, let alone the players. But if you put me in that dressing room for 5 minutes, they'll know how much fucking passion and what this football club means to me. And any of these fans, any West Ham fan going in there, if they could have 5 minutes with their players just to fucking say how they feel, I think there'll be a few players that fucking would probably have tears in their eyes.
Well, carrying on from that, saying our fans how they feel. Moyes has had a real another dig at the fans again, and like I wanted to do a morning after the game before, I really did, but I knew we were doing this today, and I've been working really, really hard, man. I had about 2 hours sleep that night as well, so I thought I'm going to wait for this one. The next day, I could not speak in terms of like the way my voice was gone and all that. That's the. Listen, they silenced us. Newcastle, they silenced us in the end, but it was a good atmosphere. And
at 2-0 down as well.
At 2-0 down, yeah. And we were still, cracking on with the boys and all that. It was loud in there. I can't address this again, honestly. I don't know that these people, for me, are deluded about what they think a true fan is. I've had my say on this before, so I'm going to let you two take it. But what do you think, boys? True fans? Should we stand up to be true fans?
Yeah, look, I don't think you should. Look, the thing is with a football club is when you're a manager, if you start losing the players, you can. Once you start losing the fans, it's the end. And when you start calling the fans out, that look, I know that 10 minutes to go on a Wednesday night, it's people been at work all day. It was late. You're 5-1 down or 4-1 down, whatever it was at the time. People got a right to get up and walk out. They got a right. You got to remember these lot go back in the change room, get changed, and then they get to go home, and they get.
No, they don't get to go home, right? They get to walk out of a door, get in a car that's either driven by them or some luxury fucking supercar. And that includes the manager.
No, that's what I'm saying. People got to go to work. So, but look, he talks about the fans. In a few weeks' time, we go up to Manchester on a Wednesday night with 3,500 sold out. Our fan base, every away game is sold out. It's so hard to get a ticket, and that's in Europe as well. You go home games. Every home game is a sellout now. So he can't knock us because, when you're in the situation we're in and we're still pulling in 65,000 or 62,000 fans on a home game and selling out every away end, don't ever question us about loyalty and what saying we don't care and we need to stand up because we'll be there tomorrow at Fulham and we'll still be singing. We'll still be getting behind the players. Whatever we think of Moyes, for 90 minutes, we're going to get behind them players and hopefully they can get them 3 points for us and we can all leave West London a lot happier than when we go into West London.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's an absolute disgrace. The man's probably never paid his money to go and, watch a football team in his life, and to question fans who've spent their hard-earned money following this team who, there's a lot of some people traveled probably long distances to get there on a Wednesday night, we've got to get back, try and travel, and they're looking at this and that's what you're serving up to them. And you're questioning them as true supporters when you've served up shit football all season.
I can't speak for other football clubs because I don't really know their fan base. But one thing I've always known about West Ham fans is, they stick with their team. Everyone's got a right to be frustrated. Everyone's got a right to walk out if they want. They've paid their money. If you went in the theatre and you weren't enjoying the show, you can get up. If you went to a restaurant and you weren't enjoying the food, you'd walk out and go somewhere else. But the thing is with West Ham fans, we'll sit there and we'll moan about Wednesday night. We'll say, but I ain't going back there. Fuck that. As soon as that match day comes round, you go. You go. And what I don't like about this season, and I've noticed it a lot more, it feels like more like a chore. You're going because you've paid. You got your season to get. I'm going to go. But West Ham fans would always sell out away ends. the home ground. I mean, to get 62,000 week in, week out with what we're watching, and it ain't been a couple of games. It's been basically all season, and probably last season, Premier League wise. Europe was a different story, but you can't ever knock this fan base, and this is why someone that knows the football club will come in, and any sort of manager, don't ever piss off the fans and go against the fans, because a player can leave a football club and you can bring a new player in to replace that player. You're not going to upset 60, 70,000 fans and they all turn their back and never come. You're not going to get 60, 70,000 new fans coming in that stadium. So
it shows how stupid the man really is and arrogant he is, because like you say, you're in this position where we're in a relegation battle. A lot of fans have already turned, and some are on the fence, and you're having a go at the fans. It's self-destructive, and all season you hear about him. You don't hear about, this is absolutely unacceptable for us to be here. Yes, we've been great the past few seasons and we want to keep that. We should keep that up. We've spent a lot of money. We shouldn't be here. But it's all, we have to remember that we had 2 great seasons and fans' expectations were raised because of those past 2 seasons. So we just got to remember, West Ham before we're in these stuff like that. It's so ridiculous. Every time he opens his mouth, he makes himself more stupid.
He should be saying things to try to get the fans back on his side a bit, just to see him out. To me, it smells of someone that knows he's going. Whatever happens this season, like he said the other day, and it is correct, this could end up being a fantastic season for West Ham. We could stay up and win a European Cup, and it'll be our most successful season in 43 years. So he's right in that sense, but you don't ever go against the fans, because you will never win them back. Never win them back.
I mean, I think evidently that was Allardyce's downfall, really. That was the beginning of the end for him when he started to, have arguments with the fans and question the fans and all that. At the end of the day, a football club need to decide what they want us to be. Yeah? Do they want us there to support the team, or do they want us there to buy their merchandise, to treat it like an entertainment? Because we've been called it, we're customers. We're customers to them. Yeah? If I went to McDonald's and bought a Big Mac and it tasted like shit, you'd chuck it, you'd ask for a refund, and you'd walk out halfway through your meal. Yeah?
Yeah.
And that is basically what they want us to do. If they want us to be supporters and true supporters, as they call it, yeah, then make the tickets cheaper. Make it more accessible. Stop selling all the best tickets to the people at the corporate end who go to the European games and all that, who, when we get to the semi-finals and finals of these tickets, will be able to take 10, 20 tickets for their mates who's never been to a game in their life. Do they want us to be fans, or do they want us to be supporters? The whole football club, yeah? If David Moyes wants a true supporter, yeah, he's not going to find a truer supporter than a West Ham supporter, because we ain't won fuck all in 40 years and we're still filling the ground. Yeah, they all said to us when we moved to the Olympic Stadium, you'll never fill the Olympic Stadium. We could fill it twice. We could. Yeah, there's people that are still waiting for tickets. When every time we go away, there are people begging for tickets. And we ain't won fuck all nothing. We ain't had a sniff of success in it's 43 years now, isn't it? So what is a true supporter to David Moyes? What does he think a true supporter should do? I'll tell you what he thinks a true supporter should do. He should pay all the fucking money that they asked, sit in the seat, shout and holler, but not criticise them when they get beat like that. Sit down and shut up. That's what they want you. That is what they think a true supporter is. Yeah, because when going back to the club, somebody said about, we should be standing up, we should be getting behind the team and all that. It was only about 3 or 4 years ago. If you stood up and started singing Bubbles, there'd be an MMA fighter coming and sling you out the fucking place. Yeah, what the fuck is a true supporter? What does he want us to do? Like, he should come out and, if he keeps on criticising the fans, why not do a fucking fans forum? And then let the fans question him. Because I would certainly go in there. If I could get 5 minutes with him, I said, what do you want us to do? Do you want us to sit here and shut up? Is that what you want? Because that's not going to happen. Like, I'll not me, because I'll stay to the end, but, You know, when people have got fucking children, they've still got to go work in the morning. Some of them are probably going away for the bank holiday. It's pissing fucking down the rain. You go there and you're fucking waiting an hour or 2 hours for a fucking train after a game. You've got young kids going there. What do you want them to do? You're getting beat 5-1. You're not going to come back and win 6-5. So what do you want them to do? At that point, there's no fucking point in being there if you don't want to be there. You pay your money. You are well within your rights to do whatever the fuck you want. If you want to walk out after 10 minutes, walk out after 10 minutes. It's up to you. You know what I mean? Like, especially like if I walked into the stadium, I see Souček was playing. I went, fuck, I can't watch this shit anymore. I walked out. He's got no right. No right to say anything. If I want to do that, I'll do that. Don't get me wrong. I prefer the ground to be full at the end. But find me one ground in the country, whether they're top of the league or bottom of the league, that will still have people in it when we're 5-1 down after 80 minutes.
To be fair, though, mate, it probably done him a favour everyone leaving, because the boos would have been a lot louder at full time if it was full up at the stadium. There was only about, 5,000 left at the end, and you could hardly boos in that big stadium. Like,
I was thinking that as well. I just don't sit right with me, a millionaire like him, criticising working class people on what to do.
It's not even about being a millionaire, Dan. Right?
I'm not saying it's about that. I'm just saying it's a point.
I know what you mean, but it's a lot of effort for people to get over there.
That's what I'm saying. It's regular people. They've spent their hard-earned money on it.
They're not walking out of a back door of a changing room and walking into their fucking car. You know what I mean? That's a long fucking way to trot kids over. That's a long way. It's a long wait for trains. It's a lot of money if you park there. It's a long wait to get out there.
That's my point. That's my point. He doesn't, you know what I mean? It's a different lifestyle. This man is a millionaire. He doesn't have to have these experiences trudging around in the cold and the wet, you know, bringing his kids out and all of that stuff. So, and people are asking about this as well. I'll bring this up. A lot of people ask about Rodney Marsh's comments, calling West Ham fans a disgrace.
Rodney Marsh ain't on the telly for a reason. He can't call no one a disgrace. I'll just leave it there.
He's just trying to get back in the limelight, isn't he? Like, he's a nobody now. No one cares about him. No one's ever thought about Rodney Marsh since he was on Gillette Soccer Saturday 68 years ago.
What did he get sacked for? Some shit. He got sacked, didn't he, for something?
Did he say something about it was the tsunami, wasn't it? And he said tsunami, and he made a joke out of the new something like that.
That was about fucking 15 years ago.
So he's making a joke out of, you know, all these people that have died from a natural disaster, and calls West Ham fans a disgrace for leaving a bit early at a football match. What a fucking idiot! What an idiot! And it rolled up a lot of West Ham fans online. A lot of West Ham's fans having a go at him, rightly so. But he's just.
I just think like with Moyes at the moment, especially the position we're in. I mean, last season everyone was singing his name, and you always remember that famous image of him at Lyon away, walking out on the pitch, and the fans are singing his name, and that's probably what he wants, you know. But when you're serving up the shit and what we've seen this season, you're not going to sing your name. Fans always voice their reason. We was at Brighton away when that was the first time that I proper heard the whole away end singing about Moyes getting sacked. And you heard it the other night. Newcastle fans started singing getting sacked in the morning, and the home fans joined in. You know, so it just proves that the thing is with David Moyes, I don't think he'll ever win the fans back. I don't think he'll win them around now. What he needs to do for his reputation is keep us up, maybe hopefully win that European Cup for us, and to put on his TV so that he can retire and say, I have won a trophy in my career. And then we all move on.
Fuck off after that. He's always been. I've never, just on a personal level, never liked him just as a bloke. And each interview, he proves what an horrible, arrogant bastard he is. He's one of them. He reminded me of Big Sam. Remember Big Sam in his interviews? He would never take the blame himself, never take the criticism, never say, I got this wrong, I got that wrong. Always put it onto the players. You know, and
one thing I would say about Moyes, though, he never shies away from doing the interview after a game. I've seen certain managers send their assistants out because they bottle it, but he always faces the press after. So.
They're not allowed. I thought it was a contractual. They're part of the contract. They have to do it, don't they? You get in
some of them don't do it.
I I think you can, because it's very rare to see that. You can tell how he gets so shirty with the press. He really does. And look, I'm not going to defend the press, but some people just ask, honest questions, and he don't like it. He wants everything to go his way. He doesn't want anyone asking any difficult questions, anyone questioning him. And you imagine the little bit we see in the interviews. Imagine what he's like in training, to players, to coaching staff that question him. Imagine what he's like. The reports we're hearing, he's a right arsehole.
The thing is, he's employed. Sorry, he's employed to make them big decisions. So if he feels that it's not the right decision, he has to make that decision, and that's why it's not working for him. Because sometimes, I'll do it even in my work. Like if I've got to make a decision, like you've got to go with it, and if you think that's the right decision, you stick with it, and then if it's wrong, you own up. You say, "Nah, fuck it, I've made a mistake there." But it's fuck being a Premiership manager.
Yeah. No, this is the thing. Yeah, it's not about.
He was joking with him.
Football. I'm sorry. It just comes to the point. Yeah, you're having a pop and disrespecting the fans. He's taking it beyond football. If he was just a shit manager, I'd just call him a shit manager. But he's not, in my opinion, a good bloke. So I will attack his character as a person, because that is what he is showing. And each interview coming out pops at fans all the time. He deserves it. He's going beyond football. Sorry, what's football about? Calling fans not true fans. What's football about that? And we have to sit there and try and be respectful of this dinosaur. I'm not having it. He's an arsehole. Can't wait to see it. People, if you don't like it, I don't care. He can go. He warrants that. And everything I hear about him off the pitch, rude to groundskeepers, arsehole to the people that he deems below him. That's not my ethics. That's not how I was raised. I was raised. Yeah, no, it's fuck the geezer. Honestly, I really cannot.
The thing is, we've got. Are you going to read comments out?
Yeah, there's just a few comments on it. It just proves one thing: if Moyes having a pop at fans, then it's surefire. He watches. It's surefire. Could you imagine Moyes watching this? Oh my god! I reckon a good 15% of those 62,500 are tourist fans. We would have been better off with a purpose-built 50k purpose-built football stadium like the old Parcelforce site.
I remember that site that he's talking about. We actually did look there to build a stadium because I used to work in Bidder Street, and I remember when they was round there, because I remember it was when Kirbishley was in charge. It was when Egnert Magnusson first come into the club, and they did actually look at that site to build a stadium there, but it just never went through.
Yeah. It's a shame, but I'm not so against tourist fans. When I went to the game on Wednesday, I was looking, and there was like a Chinese family walking through, and I imagine they've come to England for a holiday and come to see the football. It's what English fans do it. You go to Spain, you go and see the fucking El Clasico's on.
I mean, when I went New York last year, I went to go and see the New York Yankees.
You bloody tourist.
You do, yeah. I felt like a tourist with my hat on, but you do. I'm not being I've spoke to. It was a couple of weeks ago. I spoke to two people when we was doing fan cams. One was from New Zealand, one was from Australia. And they was telling me, "Oh yeah, I've flown over, and I'm so glad." And I could see in their eyes how happy they were just to be here.
Yeah,
and we do it week in, week out. We're lucky enough. We live 20-minute drive from here to or half hour away. I can get the train 40 minutes straight into Stratford. We're lucky. We can go and do that week in, week out. But some of these people, it's a dream for them to come over. And I know we hate the stadium, and he was saying to me that he liked the stadium. I think he must have been still jet lagged, to be fair. But it was. It's sometimes you look in their eyes and you see they are happy, and to be here, and having that chance to see West Ham play live, because not many people can do it when you live abroad.
I think even if you're not a West Ham fan, but you're from China or you're from America, and you're in London for your holiday, and you go, let's catch a Premier League game. There's nothing. I understand when it becomes such a large portion of the stadium, it can have an effect. But by and large, I don't have any problems with tourists because I would do the same if I went to Germany on holiday and I would, go Bayern Munich or Dortmund's on. I'll have a bit of that.
I'm going to see PSG.
Yeah, stuff like that. You would, wouldn't you? I mean, they'd probably get a lot of tourists at PSG. Yeah. So ask Rio about Moyes and Man United players. Yeah, apparently, according to Rio, Moyes came in and asked him to watch video footage of Everton defenders. Imagine that. You've won the Premier League, Champions League, the lot. Yeah, go and watch these. Study our.
Yeah, then you got to go and watch a video of Alan Stubbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, bang on. Arsenal dropped outside the top four for a few years and their ground was half empty. We are one of the best supported clubs in the country. Yeah, it's true. People forget that. I remember watching it.
And the thing is as well, touch wood, it don't happen, but if we do get relegated, we'll still get, you'll be surprised, we'll still get 40, 50,000 over there week in, week out in the Championship.
Yeah.
We'll still get that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100. I mean, this stadium, to me, I think it's different because I've seen old school fans give their tickets up, a few seasons into it because it just weren't for them. And I think that would be the final push for a few more to say, yeah, nah. So, yeah, I can see that if it was Upton Park, we'd filled it out every time. But I don't know. They're not 100% sure if we would get maybe half full, maybe.
Depends how you do it. I mean, if we're at the top of the table in the Championship and we're playing good football and the youngsters are coming through, people like you want to talk about the under 18s last night. After what happened on Wednesday night, it was so refreshing to go over there last night and just watch a West Ham team, just play with so much confidence. And there is so much talent in this football club. Someone said last night there was 75 scouts from all over Europe watching them boys last night. And when I went to that evening with Cole last week, he said exactly the same thing. He said a lot of teams like Man City, Man United, Liverpool, all the top clubs up north are all looking at East London for talent. And there's a scout, I can't think of his name, but he used to work for West Ham, but he now works for Newcastle, I think it is. And that's probably why Ashby ended up going to Newcastle. There's a lot of talent in East London, and I see it last night. And that striker, Mubama, honestly, that boy is going to go to the very top. You can see it in him. He's got so much talent. And I can't think of his name now, but there's a left back that played last night. He was unreal. Everyone was brilliant, but this boy was unreal. And I think within the next 2 or 3 seasons, you'll see about 3 or 4 of them players in and around the first team, without a doubt.
I think we go down, we'll see a few of them.
But they'll get us straight back up. Honestly, I think mix some of them players in with senior players, and they will thrive playing at that
same way. We might lose a few of them.
7,000. There was apparently 7,000 there last night, and the final at the Emirates will probably be a sellout. And I'm hoping that we get a good allocation because I'm definitely going to go. It was so nice just to sit there and watch that team play football. It's what we want to see our first team. But I mean, Declan Rice was there last night. It would have been nice. It would have been nice if all the first team should have been there last night supporting the boys. I don't know how many of them was there, but I know Declan Rice definitely was there.
Yeah. Yeah. What was you saying, Nick?
Well, the left back Scholes, the one that played in Europe.
Yeah, I couldn't think of his name. His name went out my head, but yeah, it's Scholes. Yeah, he's the one. He played for us earlier in the season in Europe, but
I mean, they've had a fantastic season. I'm trying to remember because we were top of the table for quite a long period of time. I don't know if we're still there. I need to see the league table.
We smashed the league. I think we could have won it last week, but we lost to Brighton at home.
Right. But imagine that winning the league and an FA Cup.
It's it reminded me of going to the Youth Cup final at Upton Park in '99 when Joe Cole and Carrick and all that burst onto the scene, and we beat Coventry. I think it was 6-1 that night, but it was like 9-1 over 2 legs, and it was. I remember it like clearly. It was a joy, and it was nice as well to go there and see so many like the friends and family of the players all sitting everywhere, just like and people taking their kids, because they probably can't take their kids on for a first team game, but they get to take in there last night, and it was nice. It was good to see, and good luck to them. And I wish them, especially for the final, wish them all the best. And it'll be so nice to beat Arsenal at the Emirates. Imagine what an opportunity that is for them kids though to play in. It probably will be a full house at the Emirates, which would be an unbelievable
league. They'll fucking be throwing up in their fucking droves.
No, but an unbelievable experience. So
imagine them like replicating what the boys in that 1980 did. Obviously on a youth level, obviously, but just beating Arsenal in an FA Cup final.
It's like that, like even when we won it in '99, the Youth Cup used to be a massive thing.
It still is. It's bigger than winning the league.
It still is now, but I mean, like I remember when we lost to, I think it was '96 when we lost to Liverpool over 2 legs, and I remember seeing that was Frank Lampard scored at Anfield after about 30 seconds. But you had Michael Owen for Liverpool, you had Jamie Carragher, and in our team you obviously had Lampard, Rio. It was mental, and so many players.
Team as well.
Who?
Owen, I think.
Yeah, that's what I said. Michael Owen, Jamie Carragher.
He was about 15, I think, at the time.
Yes. Ken Hammers, that's it. Delroy Ebanks. Yeah, that is the scout. That's the scout I was trying to think of that he mentioned last week. But that's what I'm saying. We've got so much talent at West Ham, and they're all sniffing around. But the good thing is when you got people like Kenny Brown, Kevin King, Mark Phillips, Colton Cole, all of them, and Mark Noble as well, who's going to take a big interest in the youth. Because I think having someone like him, he'll want to bring a lot of players through. Having them, they will keep these players grounded. And there will be people sniffing around, getting in their ears, but they'll probably be saying, look where he's gone. What's he done? Stay at the football club. There's a new manager maybe coming in. You're going to... And one thing that Colin Cole did mention is that the biggest frustration at the club at the moment with the youth setup is that the training grounds, there's 3 separate training grounds. You got the first team and the youth but they want to eventually in the next few years build a site where everyone's together. Because back when we used to go down Chadwell Heath, you would see Joe Cole, Carrick get called over from the youths, come and train with the first team. And that's probably why they broke into the first team as quick as they did, Rio. But if Joe Cole and that was probably playing now, they probably wouldn't even get a look in. And that's what I'm saying. There's so much talent getting missed out on and leaving the football club because they're not getting the opportunities to train with the first team. Prove, that's where you become, I don't know if I can say this these days, just I don't want to get nicked or the snowflakes, but that's where you become a man on the football pitch. When you're a kid and you go into the professional game, because it fucking gives you a kick up the arse, because you can win the under 18s league and piss it. Go and play in the Premier League in the top, you get found out, and that's where you become a man.
But
and Ryan Archer has just been cancelled off of West Ham Fan TV.
You should have said you become a them.
You become a he, them, they, him.
But you know what? It just shows we absolutely have to make sure we get a manager that is youth focused. Obviously, you've got to get quality experience in, but a manager that can have an eye to giving young players a chance and know how to bring them in and develop and bring through young players. That is key, because this crop of youngsters, we can't mess these up. We have to,
that was one of the things I brought up last year when we done these shows, and I brought up about the when they said that you can have 9 subs. I think at least 2 of them or 1 of them should be a homegrown talent from the youth, just to give them that match day experience, even if they don't get on. You can only make 5 subs, so you could have 4 youth team players there as well, or 2, like say 2 youth team players, and it gives them the chance just to be around the first team on a match day, see what it's like to be in a full stadium, sitting on that bench, and you never know, you might get your chance.
Taylor, with all due respect, mate, before we finish up, there is no smear campaign. That'd be stupid. No one's dissecting the man and the man's character. You give an opinion about what you've heard. That's it.
So he's a Moyes super fan. He loves Moyes. He tweets pictures of him every day out of smiling.
Well, that's
Moyes.
fair play. Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. He wouldn't be saying it if it was any other manager.
We'll do us. You do you. We'll do us.
Yeah, like
I look forward to seeing your Moyes in YouTube videos on your own channel. So there we go.
The thing is as well, just like I'm the same, mate. I like me. Like I was behind Moyes. I want Moyes gone, but why he's there? Obviously, I want him to turn it around. I want him to win games. I want him to win football. So I'm just gonna stick with it now until they get rid of him. And I'm just my main focus now is fuck Moyes. I'm behind the players, like everyone is. Yeah. We want the players to do well and just keep us up.
And I don't think I looked at that game, right, and I see players that still care, and Rice gets it the most. People say he don't care. I see him, in
the game yesterday.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You see him. I see him with my eyes. After the cameras are rolling, he's coming round. He's clapping the fans. He's looking distraught, looking dejected. I believe the players are trying for the fans, but they just don't believe or understand what the manager is trying to do. And there's that disconnect. So you can question the players on ability and what they can do, but I don't believe that they don't care, and it's, that's the way it is. So like I said, I don't think anyone that wants Moyes out doesn't want us to win games.
No, exactly. There are some people. I've seen people comment on your preview, Dan, saying that, if it means Moyes going tomorrow, I'll take a defeat.
No,
to me, no. I don't know why people think like that. I really don't.
I'd want him to keep us up, win the bloody cup, and piss off. That's what I want.
Nick, you've got it wrong, mate. I'm indifferent whether you want him out or not. But attacking the manager personally, when did I attack him personally?
I did, but and you know what I mean. Again, it's his achievement. Say he's very biased towards Moyes.
Hold on a minute.
He doesn't care if you attack.
What achievements?
Yeah, exactly.
He's got no achievements in football at all. That's fact.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm upset over Moyes. It to be honest with you, to want someone out as bad as this tears me apart, because me and Ryan were in Seville the night we beat. We was in
Lyon.
No, we weren't in Lyon. We was in. Me and you was in Zagreb. In Zagreb when he came out, and everyone loved him.
I clapped him.
The night when he came out after the Seville game, everyone loved him. The Lyon game, people were singing his name. Everyone loved it, and he loved it then, and he loved the support then, and all that. It breaks my heart to have to say this, but the fact of the matter is, he's lost the plot. He's lost the plot, and he's dictating to people what they should be doing with their night. He's basically turning around and saying, "You sit here and watch this shit." But we're not getting paid to do that.
I thought we were going to end on the positive with the under 18s. And you're just,
let's fuck off.
You're winding yourself up, Nick. Don't do it. Stop it.
Moyes lovers. It's the Moyes lovers that are making things negative. We're trying to focus on the positive, and the Moyes lovers are bringing it back to the negative.
Let's just quickly end on the Fulham game tomorrow. Obviously, tough game. We need the 3 points. We said last week, out of the 3 games, me personally, I said minimum 6 points is what we should be expecting. And if we win tomorrow, we've achieved that. And we need the 3 points, because what we've got coming up next week with going away in Europe and then Arsenal at home next Sunday, we need the 3 points tomorrow. And you know what? We've actually got a good record at Fulham. We've won 4 out of our last 5 against them. But at Craven Cottage, I think we've won 7 out of our last 12 there. Yeah, so we have got a good record there. The only thing is, we haven't won away from home in the league since August when we beat Villa.
Yeah, one game.
And we're conceding in every single game since then. So, we need to stop that rot. If you're going to start doing it tomorrow at Fulham. These are the games. Mitrovic being out for them is a huge boost for us. Obviously, the manager can't be on the touchline. Willian's back, I think, after his suspension. But look, I know we lost 5-1 the other night, but if we play like that tomorrow, the way we started and the way we continued up until the third goal. The third goal killed us the other night. It just knocked everything out of the team. But I think, we can get a result tomorrow. Whatever, if it's a 1-0 scrappy win, last minute penalty, I don't care now. It's points, that we need, and it'll be good for us.
We need something.
It's like I said, it's we've got to dig deep, and it's going to be interesting to see how much we can shake off that Newcastle result and just go for it. There won't be any tension, but it's away, so maybe the shackles can come off. But I can see a draw personally. I said that about the Newcastle game, but I can see a draw in this one. To be honest,
Wait, if anyone can tell me what that film is on the telly, there, I'll give them £1 million.
Wait a minute. Is that Dumb and Dumber? It's not Dumb and Dumber, is it?
No. You've had your guess.
Oh fuck! Right. Oh, you can't see it now. Wait, hold up. Let's swap you around. I think you're muted, right?
Oh, there you go.
Let's see if I can.
What film is it?
If you can tell me what film that is, I'll give you £1 million.
Well, looking at the cars, that's like an 80s film, isn't it?
You're not far off.
Is that? I don't know.
Something about that van looks familiar.
Yeah, I'm gonna be pissed off when you say it.
Oh, there's people are close. People are close, and I'm getting a bit nervy.
Oh, £1 million might be up for grabs. Nicky's been sitting on £1 million for this very moment.
Exactly.
No one's got it yet. Then
no one's got it, and we've got to start wrapping it up. So no one's got it. No one's got it. It's right. It's finished now. The competition, £1 million. It's the Super Mario Brothers movie from 1993.
Oh, the original.
Yeah,
I would never have got that, mate.
No, that's why I said it. That's why I offered £1 million.
What would you have done if someone guessed it?
He would have changed the channel and put another film on the fly. He'll have knocked the telly off the wall and said, that's broke now.
Oh, wait a minute. These came in just before you said it, Nick. Oh, look.
Yeah, sure.
We'll be there tomorrow. Fan cams after this. Hope we have some happy fan cams after the game. Let's get the result and look. Because the results sort of went our way during the week, so we was lucky results wise. So, but if we'd have beat Newcastle, got 9 points this week, it'd have been massive. But we ain't. So if we can get the 6 points, it's a big game tomorrow, and I think we can do it. I'm backing our boys tomorrow. 2-1. Come on, you irons.
If you are there tomorrow, come and see us. Come and get a fan cam.
Can I just ask Nick quickly? Yeah. Did Jamie say, "Oh, Dad, I want to go and see Mario Brothers"? And you went, "We got Mario Brothers at home," and
that's Mario Brothers at home.
On. Yeah, and then Bob Hopkins come on the screen.
That's why he went upstairs. No. What it was, he did say to me he wanted to go and see the Super Mario Brothers movie, but being Good Friday, it was all sold out. So I said to him, "There was an old one, you know." He said, "What was it like?" So I started showing him it, and he watched 2 minutes of it. He went, "I'm gonna go upstairs." Fair play. Fair play. That's how I felt when I went to see it in the cinema 30 years ago.
Dennis Hopper as King Cooper freaked me out, and the Goombas. But yeah, no, 1-1. I think. Let's hope we bloody pull off a big win. And
I'm gonna just quickly put this up. Oh, where's it gone? Shout out to George, the fella in the wheelchair, superb fan cam the other day. Yeah, it's gone viral, mate. It's everywhere I look. Me and Nicky, one of our mates tagged us in something today. Was it Lad Bible?
Sport Bible, I think.
Sport Bible, yeah. It's gone.
It's been in everything. It's been on everything.
Yeah, fair play to him. I mean, I knew as soon as he said that comment, I was thinking to myself, he's going viral with that.
But you know what?
It was a brilliant interview, and that sort of sums up the West Ham fan base. Exactly we just been spanked 5-1. And we can take the piss out of ourselves. And, it was it was a great fan cam. It reminded me of another person that was in a wheelchair. Remember Everton away when we with Nathan?
Nathan.
Yeah.
It's another brilliant fan cam. Yeah,
He was. I missed that, bro. He was great on fan
fair
cam.
play to George, man. It was a great interview, and hopefully, we'll see him a lot more this season if he comes over.
Yes, yeah, and hopefully
let me just address this. Where's Dom? Is he still in Cyprus? Dom ain't going to be with us for a little while. I'll leave it at that. I won't say too much, but Dom's not going to be with us for a little while.
Nothing ominous.
Nothing ominous, but he's not going to be with us. So stop asking where he is. He's not going to be doing anything with us for a while.
One day. Yes. So anyway, great show. Lots of heavy subjects, but we'll just end by saying congratulations to the under 23s,
under 18
job, and all the
under
best
18s.
for the. What's that?
Under 18s.
Under 18s. Oh yeah. Oh, it's the under 23s are top of the league, and the under 18s are in the final. Yeah, the under 18s and the under 23s. Congratulations to all of you. You're smashing it.
Congratulations to West Ham Football Club. Apart from fucking Moyes and the first team, they're
congratulations for disappointing us. Anyway, thank you everyone who commented. Even though we couldn't get to all your comments, we do have a look at the chat. We just try and pick a few. I'll be all day reading comments and all the super chatters as well. And we'll see you at the Fulham game, fan cams, all sorts of stuff going on. One thing left to say, lads.